Alright, welcome back to another video. As a lot of you might know, if you're old enough on this channel, I have a bunch of dev boards. Now, along with that, I also have a bunch of dev boards that I never really use at all. So I was wondering what good way to put them to use, also not, spend too much time, spend too much infrastructure, cost and all that stuff. What's the cheapest way to get them used and get people to access them or somehow contribute back. These are just compute power that's sitting on the desk doing absolutely nothing, so might as well get some good use out of it. So I absolutely have no use of these boards from a development point of view, uh, at all. I don't care about them. I just have them. So here's what I've done. This is the first cluster, which is a test cluster, just to test out how well it's working. This cluster at full load takes on 12 watts. These are Cortex A53, so 3 Raspberry Pi 3s and a ROC 64. So 16 cores in total, 4 into 4, and yeah, a slow RPM fan and a power supply unit that powers it up. Everything's connected to the network. The Pis are running Fedora. The ROG 64 is running Ambien, and so they are in fact running BOINC, which allows me to sort of put my hardware on the network and have universities and different research organizations that require that amount of power, some compute to actually use them. And it's been going on fine, so I'm planning on expanding. This is sort of the part one of the project. There are other projects where you can rent ARM64 mini servers, especially like projects like mini nodes. You can check them out as well, but that requires a bit more infrastructure than I'm willing to put in. And also I just want a box standard, lay it on a shelf and forget about it kind of solution. So there it is. So I have a Pi 2. This is Nano Pi 1 all winner M64, and down there is the all winner Banana Pi, so with the 820 sock. This is the original Kharas Vim, and back there's the Rose Apple Pi, also kind of compatible with the Allo boards. I'm not sure about that one. The upstream support's not that good. Again, I need to connect everyone to the internet, so it needs to run at least mainline or a maintained distro like Fedora or Ambien. In most cases, all these boards are supported by either one of them. That's the only board that I'm not sure about. And yeah, so these are the extra ones. There are some 96 boards. I have a bunch of Dragon board that's just lying around. Those are extras. They have defective I/O pins because of the use over the years, and they will be there. I have the original Hikey, which is the octa-core part. That will also be there since that's defunct and I no longer have much use for it. So here are the four boards running BOINC. I've managed to gain, so this is the last job they will be running before a sort of overhaul to the setup so that everything's neat. So I've just set both SETI and Yo-Yo. Those are the only two ARM-based projects that I was able to get properly running. Otherwise, others won't really get that keen on running properly. But yeah, so we've had a bit of we've had a fair bit of success. So Crunch on ARM is the team if anyone wants to join. We've had a bit more than 1500 in a few days points on SETI, and a bit more than 500 on Yo-Yo at home. And once all of these finish, so like the topmost board has already finished everything, so just sitting there. So once all of these, all the three have done the jobs and it's over, then I can rip everything apart once again and redo the reset up everything and show you guys. Alright, some more updates. So all the nodes finished computing, and so I've added more power supply, of course, not more boards. There's a Pi 2 I just added to the stack so that becomes a fully Raspberry Pi stack. And the Rock 64 is separate still. But all the four boards are up, and maybe in a day or two I'll start um, enabling all the other ones. I have this fans set up. Hopefully that would be enough. Sure is for these four boards. I have just one running right now because there's nothing on the other side. So yeah, dual 120 mm fans. These are 12-volt fans, but I'm just running them off of 5 volts from the same power supply. They draw less current, have a lower RPM, and make less noise, but they still work the way I want them to. And then there are your pies. So there are like 4 of them. When I start setting up these ones and even the Pi 2, I might do a proper video of actually setting up BOINC and joining a team and stuff like that. Very simple stuff, but yeah, neated up it a bit as much as I could. The power cables might stay as they are. I didn't have much luck with these type of cables. Only 3 out of 4 worked, so that's not a good failure rate. So might not be using them more than this. I have other power cables available that I might use, but apart from that, those are 4 or 3 25-watt units, and they're powered by the single 250-watt 12-volt supply here, and that then steps it down to again 5 volts for the Pi and the other boards, all of them taking 5 volts as input. And yeah, let's see how much I can increase the setup. So I'm hoping I can like layer them with height and stuff like that, because none of these can be stacked apart from these two, which are from the same manufacturer. This one is just its own design, this one is its own design, that one is its own design, although most of them look quite close to a Raspberry Pi. None of them are. Only the Rock 64 was the one that had the ability to be stacked, so I might just actually stack it. So I'll actually maybe just run one set right now, and by tomorrow all of that should be over, and then at the end I can actually stack this as well, so we have a 5. Well, the problem with the 5 unit stack is that it then doesn't get cooled by the fans. Like 120 mm is way too low, so you have to stack it up to 4, and again I don't have many boards that are stackable. So we'll see how the cooling works, and some of the boards require a lot more than the others, and hopefully we can figure that out. So I don't think this one will heat up too much with the heatsink and a general supply of cool air, like a general area. If this area is cooled with the fans, they should be fine. That definitely requires that. If I deploy, I'm not sure what still required, but that gets too hot. It's the Cortex A8 design, and Cortex A8 got hot. It's a really hot design, but again, so the A64 would require, but the A20 below that doesn't require. So I can like have maybe this particular board like in front of it. That way this one gets the cold air and then that one gets the cold air, but since that doesn't really require a cold air flow, a general area of cool is enough. I should be good. Yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully I will see you all next one, and bye bye. So it's on SETI and Yo-Yo. It's crunch on arm. If you have an arm machine and you're crunching, um, mm, join us. Join me. There's no us at this point. It's just one man group, and yeah, hopefully we can put all the, because I know a lot of people have the spare boards laying around, and if you are one of them, if you have cheap electricity, cheap internet, join us. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.